Gosh, this one's so disappointing. Today we're going to be talking about the follow-up to the Noisy Freaks debut album Straight Life with the Sixth Sense EP. Now, I have to admit my expectations were probably a little bit too high with the announcement of this EP because I love Straight Life so much. With their early releases this year, like Tonight, I really expected something fantastic to come out of this EP. It seemed with most of this they tended to go toward a more standard French house sound, and it really was nowhere near as diverse as they had with their debut album. And just overall, this one was extremely just a letdown. The thing about this EP is, whereas their debut album Straight Life kind of threw me off, was that they threw all of these different styles in, and it was something that I didn't expect. This EP right here, Sixth Sense, is 100% what you'd expect a French house act to drop, and that's what's very disappointing about this. It's not necessarily bad, but it's just bland, it's average, and just didn't really impress me. Kicking off with the track Funk You Up, the vocal lines are absolutely nothing new, lyrical themes that we've heard a million times before in French house. Pretty uncreative title and just your standard French house beat. Feeling, on the other hand, is a pretty standard electro track, or maybe just house for that matter. Basically just avoid feeling. It's nothing special, and it's pretty boring and repetitive throughout. In a way, Get Down is pretty cool because it takes on a different vocal approach than most of their songs go, and that was interesting to hear, although the production is fairly standard on this. Loose Control is one of the most catchy on the record, I'd have to say, but it still focuses on their fairly standard style of electro we've heard before, especially on songs like Hell and Back on the Straight Life EP. I'm always going to be attracted to sounds like this, but at this point I know what's pretty standard and what's not, and this is fairly average for that kind of French electro sound. Lucas is one of the ones that really throw me on a loop, kind of taking on a little bit more of a future bass sound. And these are always super interesting to listen to, especially in the context of a record that doesn't really have to do it. That's really what threw me off on Troye Sivan's album when he dropped Fools. I was completely surprised to hear this style, and the same goes for this EP. I didn't love the track, but in the context of this EP, I think it's cool to hear. Save My Heart, like Loose Control, is kind of that standard electro style. I'm into the sounds, but overall I know that the artistic approach on this isn't exactly extremely unique. I do like the sounds on it though, and although average, fairly enjoyable. The closer, Find You, tries to be like super emotional, but the thing is, we've got this standard French house vocal. You always hear it, that robot sound that Daft Punk introduced in the 90s. And it tries to be this kind of ballad, but it just seems so silly that it seems very out of proportion. I want to be able to enjoy this one a lot, but it's really kind of a funny track in a way because of its varying natures, with the vocal so heavily contrasting the styles of the instrumentation on this. I was gonna give this EP a solid 4. I think after reviewing it right now, it's more fitting with a solid 3. I haven't told you yet, but at least I don't think, I'm introducing a 0 rating with this coming year, probably starting basically after the release of my top 10 albums of the year video. That already came out, and now there's going to be an option for me to rate a 0. That doesn't take away the fact I've already rated some things a solid 1 before, and 1.5. Those, just imagine those, if they were a 1.0, would now be a 0. The whole system's going to kind of change with the following year, and if something absolutely brings nothing new to my ears, nothing interesting, I'm going to give it a 0. So I think a 3 is fairly deserving for this one, most of it being pretty average. Anyway guys, check this out. Let me know what you think in the description, if you did listen to it. If you didn't, make sure to listen to it, check it out, and check out my favorites in the description if you want to find out the stuff that I'm really digging on this EP. There wasn't a lot, but there are a couple that I'm interested in. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Bye.